All right. Facebook productivity, marketing and networking, organizing your friends list. I'm going to start off from the desktop because there's a different way to do this from the phone, from your, iPhone, for example. And I want to show you that as well. So first, I'm going to open up my web browser. Obviously, I'm going to go to Facebook. I want to actually turn I'm going to turn my messages off, my chat. And I'm actually going to hide this sidebar for now. By default, when you log into Facebook, you've got 3 columns, and each column has a number of roles that basically represent different. You've got this ticker over here. You can be more productive by hiding certain sections. Let's see, you've got ads. So if you've got pages that you manage, you'll see this ad section here. At the top, obviously, you've got where you share your status updates. I always recommend to share your status updates as public, but you've got more options. Sometimes you may have your account set to friends and you don't know it. Generally, you should see this option here, even on the phone, to show certain privacy when publishing a status update. This is really important. This is going to help us kind of defeat Facebook's algorithms. Okay. And I'll show you how in a second. In this left-hand column, we've got a shortcuts row. We've got our news feed and messenger. We've got explore. We've got create. Under explore, you've got this option for friends lists. I'm going to click on that. By default, you will have your jobs that you have listed in your profile. For example, let me actually open my profile in a new tab and I'll show you exactly what I mean. If I click on about, you'll see that I have creative director at Funky Ski, the Sideways, founder at Memphis Entrepreneur Club, past Fort Models, Full Sail University, Boca Raton, Florida, and other places I've lived, Memphis, Tennessee, Caryville. So all of these, these smart lists will be created for you by default. Memphis Entrepreneur Club is a page, and I founded this business. So this page is actually also a smart list. If other people say that they've worked at the Sideways or Memphis Entrepreneur Club or McDonald's, for example, you'll have a smart list where other people who you've added as friends who also said they worked at a particular McDonald's on their Facebook profile will be in that smart list. So let me show you what I mean. 901 Customs, this is a web page. This is a Facebook page that I started and I created. I listed myself as the founder and creative director of this page. Since I'm the only employee, I'll probably be the only one in that smart list. Funky Ski, I'm the creative director of that page. The Label Lust, I founded, created that. Boca Raton, Florida is a location, so other people who have listed that they've lived here, if I open this list in a new tab, it'll automatically generate a smart list where other people who live in that location, their posts will show up. Okay, so this is everything that's happening in Boca Raton based on my friends list of other people who live there. So right now I have 7 people on my friends list who live in this location. All right, so this is a timeline or a news feed syndicated to only people in Boca Raton. Another smart list is 901 King Productions Caryville High School. So here's one. This is a good one to show. All of my friends, I think I may have created this smart list because I was the first one to ever say I went to Caryville High School, but I listed this school, and obviously there is a Caryville High School page somewhere that I could list, but I can add classmates to this list. Hollister, so people who have worked at Hollister who are on my friends list. Let's see if anybody. So Carlo Garcia, at some point these people have worked at Hollister. Smart List, McDonald's on Highway 72, Dreams Fly Entertainment. Acquaintances is by default one of the lists you'll find on Facebook. Close friends and family are also two of the defaults. So if you have someone in your family listed in your profile under relationships, family and relationships, these people will show up in the family list. You've got Caryville, Tennessee area, Fort Models, Sideways, Memphis Entrepreneur Club, restricted, people who I've blocked. I guess I could pull that up. Let me see if there's anything on there. I don't think I've restricted any posts or any people from this. You can block people without removing them from your friends list. You can put them in the restricted list so that when you post something, a status update that you don't necessarily want them to see, you can set your post privacy to restrict it. So by default it's public, or whatever your privacy is on Facebook, like friends or friends of friends. You have more options such as smart lists, so only me, custom, so you might not want one or two people to see this particular post. 3 commas, I've added my own custom lists. You've got Boca Raton, Florida. You maybe only want people from Boca Raton in this smart list to see this post. Obviously, these are only going to be my friends who are in this list. And then you've got restricted. So when you go over to custom, you can set it to hide this from Did I spell that right? Maybe I can't. So share with, don't share with. I don't know, maybe I cannot hide it from the restricted list. So let's see, PQR. So I think the restricted list is a list that is created for you. So let me go back to, for instance, my home page, or home in Facebook. And let's say this random guy right here, he's not my friend, so it's somebody I'm following. Let me find a friend. All right, so Matthew, I'll go over to hover over the friends icon, and I can add him to another list. I can add him to I guess I can't add it. Okay, there it is, restricted. So I don't think I have anybody in that list, but if you add them to the restricted list, they just won't be able to see your post updates, or you can block certain posts from them. So this person is in Secret Academy group, private group, and he posts a lot about success. So I have him on those 2 lists. So what I like to do when I have people who, a lot of people have added me as a friend, and I haven't really accepted most of these friend requests because I'm very selective with who I add into my network. But when I do add a new person, I'm just going to go over to my friends. What I like to do is add certain people to different lists. So Ryan Haskett, him and I are partners in a company that he's started called Plava. It's an app he's developing. And when I have him as a friend, I have him added to 3 commas, 901 Customs clients, because he's bought services from me. He's a good friend of mine. So he's on my bros list, and he's on the, or should be, on the Plava list. So I just added him to the Plava list. Now, when I go back to the home page, I can go over to friends lists, and I can click on Plava. If I can find it. Now everybody in that development team or that's on our team will be, all their posts will be shown here. and I can specifically see what everybody on Plava is talking about. So this timeline is only for Plava, and if I post something that I want them to see, Facebook will be more likely to show this post only to the Plava members. All right, the people on that list. So let's say you provide a service like graphic design, or you're a producer, you produce music. One mistake I see a lot of people making is producers specifically is adding a lot of other producers on their friends list. What sense does that make if they're trying to make money, right? They add a lot of producers. Producers don't want to buy beats from producers, so why are you adding producers? If you're going to do that, at least add them to a producer's list. And then you want to go and add musicians and songwriters to your friends list as well, but you want to add them to musician and songwriter lists. So if I go to my friends list, you'll see that I have I'm a producer, I'm a musician, I'm a songwriter. So when I post status updates trying to sell a beat as a producer, I want to hide that from my producer friends. Or maybe I want to only show it to my musician friends or my rappers friends. So I've got a list here titled musicians. I'm going to open that in a new tab. Got a list here for DJs, music engineers, rappers, graphic designers, music producers. Music producers post a lot of like memes and funny videos and fight videos and sometimes porn. So sometimes I just want to like not even see their posts, or I want to spend my day doing music, so I will only look at my music producer posts or my rappers list to see what these people are up to. Okay, so let me open rappers. So musicians, Kevin Barges is a bassist. Savannah, I'm not sure what she does. I think she might be a guitarist or something. Okay, so these are all musicians, and usually you'll see them posting stuff about music. So people who are into music usually are into weed. I'm not really into talking about weed on social media, but you know, this is the kind of stuff musicians post. Music producers, again, memes, funny videos. They talk about a lot of dumb stuff. So my music producers list is syndicated, so I only see what music producers are posting. To be most productive, if I decide I want to network with producers today and maybe sell lyrics, or I want to network with rappers and maybe sell a beat, I can go to my rappers list and see what all my rapper friends are talking about. And I can say, hey rapper, do you want to buy this beat? Or I can post a status update on, depending on the list, sometimes I can post a status update that only those people see. So if I'm selling beats, I don't want all these random people to see that I'm selling a beat, because 9 times out of 10 they're not qualified, and Facebook will start to limit who sees the post based on my 5,000 or 4,000 friends who have no interest in that post. Okay, so if I go home and I decide I want to post selling beats 50% off, I can go to more options and show this to only rappers. What you want to do though, after you post the status update, is go back and change this to public. Don't forget to change this back to public, because the next status you post will be set to whatever list you updated it to last. Okay? Every time I go and add a new friend, I hover over their name and I click on add to another list. Looks like this guy might be I don't think he's a pilot. He's probably just in the plane. So let me find something specific. Let me find someone. Okay, Leda is a model. We've been friends for quite a while. I do know her personally. I have her under the models list. So let's say you have photographers that you're adding and you notice that they're a photographer. You want to add them to the photographers list. That way you don't have to post a status on Facebook to all of your friends internationally who probably aren't anywhere near you, asking, hey, does anybody know a photographer? Instead, you can go over to your friends lists and you can go down to, let's find it, photographers. Garrett is a photographer. Adrian is a photographer. Tristan is a photographer. Sean Nolan is a photographer. Too Deep, she's a photographer. Kaylin Clemens, a photographer. So Erica Dunlap, photographer. I don't have to go and look for photographers. Ziggy Mack, photographer. So here I can go and say, hey, I can go and message this guy personally. Hey, what are your rates? Adrian, hey, what are your rates? I've got 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 people, 24 people actually on this photographer's list. Now I don't have to say, hey, who's a photographer? This photographer is in California. This guy forgot where he was, but now I can see, okay, cool. Photographers are on a specific list. Let me see what other examples I have for you. Every time I add a new person, I might have someone under success is the one that I like to add most people to, because mostly everybody I add has something to do with success. They either have a lot of money, they are into investing, they're into building their own businesses, they talk a lot about success, they might share posts related to success 9 times out of 10. So I have these people on success list because when I wake up, if I feel like I need motivation, I'll go to my success news feed and only see majority positive posts. Okay, 9.9 out of 10 you'll see something positive from these people. So today I might not want to see anything related to music. I'll only go to my success list. I've got a list for skateboarders. I know I'm kind of I'm dragging this out a little bit. I want this to be under 20 minutes and we're at 17, but I want you to understand how groundbreaking this is. Secret Academy private group skateboarders. So if I go to my skateboarders group, let's see, gonna be bumping gaga, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if we see anything skateboarding related. So a lot of these people will have something related to skateboarding. Today is a big day for like the Super Bowl and stuff. So you'll see a lot of people hanging out. But on normal days, all of my skateboarding friends will have something related to skateboarding. If I decide today I want to skateboard, instead of trying to remember what skateboarders I've added as friends, what I'll do is go to my skateboarding list and say, hey, want to skate? Hey, want to skate? Hey, want to skate? Like, yo, you down to skate? So I can go up to the top. I can go over to see all, and then I can see all the people on this skateboarding list once it loads, of course. And I can send a private message to each one of them. I have more, but I haven't been really paying attention to who I add that skateboards. I've deleted a lot of people as well, but I know that these people skate, and I can say, hey, you want to go to the skate park today? Instead of me trying to post, hey, I'm going to the skate park. If I want to know what skaters are up to on this specific day to make it as productive as possible, I can go to this specific list. So let me just go through my entire lists, or all of my lists. I've got a Huffington Post list for writers who work at or publish blog posts to HuffingtonPost.com. My friends who live in New York, the Plava app team, Turner Broadcasting, people who work at Turner Broadcasting, app developers, people who know or are in the Naveen Jane's network, website developers. This one is 901 Customs. So people who are in my 901 Customs business, employees, for example, people who have worked at Ralph Lauren, people who work at or are associated with Lamborghini, usually people who drive a Lamborghini or race the actual Lamborghinis, people who are in Gary Vaynerchuk's network directly or work at his agency, investors, people who do stock trading, experienced pints, people who do the podcast for video games, people who are in Morris's, which is a DJ, people who are in his network directly, website prospects, people who have asked me about websites. I put them into this list so that I can go and follow up with them and say, hey, you ready to get that website designed? Videographers, cosmetologists, models, people who are in Ty Lopez's network directly or work with him, my friends, cooks, musicians, DJs, music engineers, rappers, October's very own graphic designers, music producers, realtors, photographers, 901 Customs clients, people who have bought a service from me. I might want to check up on my clients and see what they're up to. E-commerce experts, Success, Start Co. in Memphis, Las Vegas, people who live in Las Vegas, Secret Academy, private group, skateboarders. I volunteer at a camp called Camp Looking Glass, so we have campers there. They're in their own list. We have counselors there who are in their own list. Memphis Business, let's see, Boca Raton, Florida, Carville High School, Hollister, Full Sail University, McDonald's, which I'll probably remove from my profile. Acquaintances, Carville, Tennessee, Fort Models, family, close friends, the Sideways, Memphis Entrepreneur Club, and Restricted. All right, so these are all of my lists, and every time I add someone, I add them to a specific list. So let me go over to Success and give you a little more of an example. And I'm going to click on See All. Sometimes it's not going to show me all the people on this list, but let's see, friends. Yeah, it's definitely not going to show me everybody on the list. Why it does this sometimes, I'm not really sure, but there are 226 people in this list. All right, so most of these people will, you'll see a lot of people in here who drive exotic cars, or who do nothing but talk about business all day, or who talk about app development, and they share a lot of videos, a lot of people who drive Lamborghinis, and they post a lot of positive things or quotes. But this list is really syndicated towards successful people, and this helps me stay productive and stay motivated when I need to have a little mental boost. I'll go over to this list. So start taking advantage of this. Let me show you quickly how to manage this from the phone. I'm going to pull up my iPhone here in a second. And I'm going to open up Facebook. It's a little bit different from the iPhone. For the most part, it's the same. So when I find someone, this guy is on the success list. I'll go over to where it says friends, and I'll tap on the friends icon, and I'll click on edit friends list. And now I can add him to success. He's already added. You can see the check mark there. But the only thing you can't do from the phone is create a new list. You need to be on the desktop to create the new list to add people to. So if you want to create a new list like photographers, you have to do it from the desktop. Another thing I like to do is add certain pages like entrepreneur to see first. So I'm following them by default, and I want to add them to the see first. So when I wake up, the first thing I see in my timeline is a post like this. You see that blue star in the top right corner? So let me refresh this and see if another one shows up at the top. All right, so it looks like I've already seen the post for today from those people that I have listed as see first. Usually entrepreneurs, big influencers, but that's another thing you can do. I can go ahead and add him since this is my brother-in-law basically. I can add him to family. Now, when I go over to the hamburger icon in the bottom right hand corner, I can go over to this tab called feeds. Right under the on this day icon, you have this tab called feeds, which gives me a list of my feeds to see. So I can go over to family and I can see everything that's happening with my family. All right, and there you have it.